2 rules you should follow when doing online dating. Number 1, when you're talking to her online, you should not get her number. And number 2, you should not be asking her to help you plan the date. If you follow those 2 rules, you will be 97% ahead of the majority of guys out there in the online dating landscape. Why do I say this? There's a guy that recently matched with a woman, and he's doing the things that I just told you, and I'm going to read over his situation and then explain to you why it is the 2 things I just told you are pertinent for you to follow. By the way, if you need more tips like this, you can go to stoplosingwomen.com, sign up for one-on-one coaching, check out my Get Girls Academy with the free 3-day trial, or check out my ebooks. You can also like and subscribe on this video. All right, so let's get into it. He says he's 35, and he had a good convo going with a recent match who was 27 female. And so he says, I decided to ask her out this weekend. Pause. Why is he asking her out on a holiday weekend? Fridays and Saturdays are already no-no days because those are the days that are meant for serious couples, but especially a holiday weekend. As a general rule, during the holiday time, you should not be asking a woman to holiday parties and to weekend events where there's going to be holiday stuff going on that she's probably already set to go to, all right? This is not the time for that. You stick to weekday dates in the evening, and you're going to have a better shot at being able to build her attraction by doing that. I digress. He says she responded very positively, quote, I would love to. And she told me she was traveling, but said she was free Friday if that worked for me. So I'm going to say this. I have found that anytime a woman throws in any kind of potential hiccup that could happen, that's usually code for, hey guy, maybe don't plan this weekend. I don't want to be rude, but I'm eventually going to use this travel thing as an excuse to not see you. So I'm saying this now so you'll be able to say, hey, let's set it up at a later time. Because think about it. If she's able to see him on Friday, why would she bring up the I'm going to be traveling thing? What she's trying to say to him is, hey, I probably got to pack. And so I don't want to be rude and turn you down because I do kind of like you, but I kind of got to pack. And so what's going to happen is either the date will get canceled Friday, or what will happen is she'll cut the date short by saying she has to pack, which is probably true. Either way, dude is shooting himself in the foot by asking for a date on a holiday weekend. Anyway, so he says, I said, great, and said, let's plan for Friday, and asked her for her number. And then in parentheses, he says, solely because it's easier to plan things, send restaurant links, and overall be more reliable/responsive since Hinge can take a few hours to a day, and I don't want to get screwed. This morning, I get a text from her saying, quote, sure, let's try for Friday, but does not acknowledge or respond to my ask for her number. Should I bring it up or ignore and try and set the date up over Hinge? All right, so again, I'm just a person that's done this for a long time. So far, she said, well, I'm traveling this weekend, but I can do Friday. And then when she responded back later, she said, sure, let's try for Friday. Try is equal to the word maybe. And as I teach you guys, you should not live in maybe land when it comes to dating, because that means that you're going to be waiting around assuming that the maybe is going to be a yes. And I have discovered more often than not, the words try and the words maybe equal no. It means she's unsure or that she's waiting for other plans to come into place. And so she's hoping those plans will come. But in the meantime, she'll have you as a backup. So if those plans don't come through, then she has nothing else to do. She might as well see you. So already I'm not liking the sounds of these responses, right? But let's go back. So he said he wants a number. So first off, most women online are already feeling kind of weird about being online in the first place. And then they meet you as a stranger on there and they're talking back and forth with you. And that already feels kind of odd. But ideally, you're doing enough to build rapport where you get to see her out in the real world. All right. You asking for her number before you've gone on a date with her is putting a cart before the horse, because right now she doesn't actually know if the interaction she's had with you is good enough to warrant you having her personal information that allows you to then text her all the time and possibly track down her address and all this other stuff. So a lot of women, although they may be building an attraction to you, for purposes of their safety, they're going to be cool with you setting up a date and time to meet in public where she can meet you and experience you before giving you the number, more so than she's going to feel comfortable giving you the number when you're still a stranger that she has not personally interacted with. And a lot of guys mess this up because they think they ask for the number and then she goes ghost and he's wondering what's going on. And what's going on is she didn't feel comfortable giving the number, but she didn't feel like she could be an a-hole by outright rejecting you. And so her brain gets stuck and she says, I'll get to him later. And then they just never do. So I have found you get more success if you just go straight for, hey, let's go on the date, and you plan everything on the app, and then you meet her in person. Because if you get the number, what are you going to do? You're going to text her like you were texting her already on the app. But on the app, she's going to feel safer because you don't have all her information yet. You don't have her phone number, which means you can't find her address, etc., etc. So I would say set up the date on the app and then meet her in person. And then once she experiences you and realizes she feels like she's safe around you, that's when you can go for the number and keep in contact that way, all right? But more to the point, the reasons he gives for wanting her number. He says, and I quote again, it's easier to plan things. I can send restaurant links and be more responsive. So what he's thinking is this. Well, since we're both going on the date, and we both have to like the place that we're going to go to, I'm going to throw some suggestions at her so she can let me know which suggestions she likes. And then if she chooses the thing, then I know that she's going to have a good time. And then I'll take her on the date and, oh, look at me, I planned a date. And what women are seeing this is as he's throwing the planning of the date onto my shoulders. He's going to send me 5 or 6 links and then tell me to pick the restaurant and then tell me possibly to set up the reservation. And it becomes this thing where on her end of things, it looks like you are putting all the work of planning a date onto her. Now, as a guy, I get why you're doing this because you've heard for years that women don't want a guy that just, tells her what to do and it should be a collaborative thing. And so she's got to have some say. And I'm here to tell you, women are not attracted to that. Like I get this whole thing of like, it's the 2000s and we should whatever. And the reality is at the end of the day, women just want to show up and have a good time. Women want you to pick the restaurant, and they want you to tell her what time to show up or what time you're going to pick her up and just be along for the ride. They spend all day at work thinking and thinking and thinking, and women are great at thinking, but they get exhausted, I found, a lot easier than guys do. And so by the end of the day, when she gets home from work, the last thing she wants to do is have another thing added onto her plate that she has to plan. So you came to her and you said, hey, we should go out. You should already have some places, some standard places in mind that you already go to for any date you take a first date on. Because the reality is for a first date, you're not trying to specialize it to her. You don't know her enough yet. That's what the date is for. All she wants to know is that you're a guy that knows how to plan stuff and that she's going to be able to follow your lead wherever this date's going to go. She wants to see how you plan stuff out. She wants to see what kind of things that you're into. And so when you put the onus on her to have to pick a place, it actually causes her to lose attraction. So her not answering back or responding to any of that is basically her subconsciously trying to say, dude, I'm not giving you the number yet. I've already said yes to the date. I'm not trying to be rude. Also, I'm not responding to the part about you trying to send links to me or whatever because I don't want to do that. You're the guy. You pick where we go, and just tell me how to dress. All women typically care about is they want to know how they should show up to wherever you're taking them. So whether you're taking them to a concert or taking them to a fancy 5-star restaurant, they just need to know what should they wear. They don't want to plan anything else about this date. And when you make them do that, they lose attraction for you. So let's learn this lesson once again, guys. Do not do what? Do not ask her for her number, and do not ask her to help you plan the date. She does not want to do it. Just in case you're a guy that thinks that you're going to get a better result by sending her links and trying to ask her what she wants to do and where she wants to go. The more questions you ask her about this date, the less interested she's getting. She's thinking, I could have just stayed home. Versus, hey, you just say, hey, we're going to this restaurant at this day, this time, wear this, and I'll pick you up. Or I'll meet you there in the case of online dating, because most time with online dating, they're not going to feel comfortable with you picking them up right away. But either way, the point is that she's going to feel more like you're the kind of guy that she can get with because you're a guy that plans things. And part of it's the element of she doesn't quite know what you're going to get into, which is a mystery for her. And that's fun. But you taking that away from her and you trying to put all the planning on her, you're going to lose women that way. And I don't want you to lose women. That's why I got a whole show called Stop Losing Them. So when you ask for numbers online and when you try to get them to plan stuff, you lose women. So let's not do that. So hopefully, guys, that helped you out. And if you guys have a question you want me to answer on one of these shows, you can write to me at harry@stoplosingwomen.com. You can also check out my website for ebooks. You can check it out for my Get Girls Academy program, which encompasses all of my best video and audio courses. Right now, you can sign up for a free 3-day trial by going to stoplosingwomen.com. And of course, you can go there for one-on-one coaching if you have a situation that you're going through and you'd like deeper insights into your specific situation. So hopefully you guys got something out of this. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, be sure to give this video a like, give it a subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next episode. I'm out. Peace.